to weigh up, you know, which one made more sense. Noise, no noise. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please make sure you do hit that like, hit that subscribe, notification bells are also on. Ding! Whatever that sound is. Anyway guys, I just want to make sure that you guys are up to date with the things that I'm doing. So a lot of people have been asking me since I done my last reel why I stopped doing rent to rent, and I've gone through some of the comments, but I feel like sometimes you can miss comments and I also can't go through every single DMs. I think like the best thing for me to do is just open it up and let everybody know like why I stopped doing rent to rent. Oh my god, I still got a tag on this. But okay, let's go. So why did I stop doing rent to rent? As I said, like, this is everything that I put on my platform is my personal experience. I started doing rent to rent in 2019. I believe it was the beginning or mid of 2019, and it was really good. I paid for a course, I also got contracts, and I also had the beauty of having a really good friend of mine who mentored me, potentially acted like a mentor. We used to do like pretending to do calls on the phone to each other and speaking to landlords and agents. He is in the rent to rent business, like really big. He literally was managing like 20 properties at one stage. Like, he was just ridiculously killing it. So I actually started off from my friend's advice. I'd go to agents and I'd say corporate let, like, you know, I want to do corporate letting. Now, I'm not actually doing a corporate let, but a lot of agents are not familiar with rent to rent. They might be now, but back then I don't feel like they were that familiar. So my friend told me to say corporate let, and then by corporate let, they would understand 100% what you're doing. They know that you're renting the property out room by room. But there was a lot of estate agents that did say, you know what, the property that you've actually inquired about, the landlord won't allow that. But we have this property where the landlord is actually open to you doing that, which really helped, because then it's like, okay, this is something that you guys are open to, which is good. I'm going to keep you guys in my book, and I'm going to keep looking out for the properties that are available to do that. And I'm also going to go and view the properties that you said are suitable for corporate lets or rent to rents, essentially. That was good. I think I got one property through an agent, directly from an agent, and that went really well, because once I'd built a relationship with that agent, they then also like would always recommend me to different ones. That I was doing viewings like non-stop with that agent, because there was like, we can pass them on to this one, we can pass them on to this one, we can pass them on to this one. Some of them had studios inbuilt with them plus HMOs, so it was like a HMO, 5-bed HMO with a studio on the ground floor. So like literally they get you dabbled into these like really good network of landlords who are open to rent, and it's good because agents are the forefront. They're the ones that do the legwork. They have all the landlords ready, they know which ones are going to accept you, and they know which ones are open to rent, and you go with the flow. Really good. When I did start rent to rent though, I had an issue. I didn't have much money, so what I did to make sure that I did have the money for deposits and rent up front when I was renting from the landlords is that, I don't want to say this out loud, this is me, don't copy me, please don't copy me. I went to like the everyday loans, where the loans are like super ridiculous returns, basically. Like, you will pay like 20% or 50%, whatever it is. Like, the return, the interest that you pay is like mad. Because I didn't have good credit at that time, I didn't have the option to get like loans at lower rates, so I had to go for a loan where the rates were a lot more higher. But in saying that, what I did to make sure that I wasn't trapped into loans for like 4 years is that I would only take on properties that I was confident that I could get them redone, refurbished, looking pretty, looking beautiful within the 2-week turnaround. Legally, every financial agreement that you take out has to give you 2 weeks to change your mind. I would then use the loan money to then secure the property, get it rented, give the money back, and then I had no loan over my head, no interest over my head. It's very risky, so I wouldn't encourage anyone else to do it. But I was someone that I was determined to get in this rent to rent game, whether I had money or no money, and I was gonna find a way to make it work. So I would do day, night, making sure that property looked good. Sorry, that was my belly. Making sure the property looked good, making sure that it was advertised before it was even finished, and then I would get the money from the tenants, and then I would pay that back to the towards the loan, and Bob's your uncle. So that's how I got one of the properties that I got. I feel like I'm getting a little bit jumbled up because that wasn't even my first property, the property I'm thinking of. So the first property I actually found was through Gumtree. And I did I used to work as an estate agent, so I actually like knew what things to say. I went through like intensive training. I was working for like kind of top estate agency firm, so I went through like thorough training on how to like close deals and stuff. I used that to my advantage when I was speaking to these landlords to basically make sure that they would say yes, and I was getting the yeses. I was hitting all the emotive stuff. I went straight on Gumtree, looked for a landlord, contacted the landlord, spoke to them. When I went into the property, one of the bedrooms were too small, so it couldn't work as a HMO for 5-bed, so I used it as a 4-bed minimo. I went in, they gave me the property. They actually didn't ask for the money straight away, which was good. I was like, can I pay you later? It was like a husband and a wife, and I was direct to them, so I didn't pay them up straight away. They was like open to me doing it at a later date, which was good because then it gave me more time to get the property ready. So I got the property ready, got it rented out again. And the reason why I feel like my rent-to-rent properties rented out really quickly was because I put a lot of time into them. Like most people will just get a rent-to-rent and say, yeah, live there, and like the curtains don't even match the blankets, or the bed is like broken, the wardrobe doesn't match the bed. I would get the ick. Yeah, I would feel uncomfortable, and I can't provide a room or something to someone else that I wouldn't feel comfortable in. So like I made it my priority to make sure that the rooms always felt homely. Like I'd add little sweet jars at the front of the property to say like home sweet home, little photo frames, lamps, rugs, blankets, stage the house, make them feel like they would want to live there. And that's why like literally majority of the times when I did viewings, they were gone straight away. There was no dilly-dallying. There's only one time I actually rejected someone. The person loved the room, but I rejected them. Now we're on to my second property, and I basically got in the space of like I think 2 months, I had 4 rent-to-rents. Then I had another property, again I used Gumtree, direct to the landlord. But the landlord was a bit iffy with this property, and I never actually eventually ended it renting it out. It's like she wanted me to do up her house, but she wasn't willing to actually let me rent it out. She kept coming like, I need my house back. So that was just a disgusting experience. And I'll get onto that after I go to the points of why I stopped doing it. And then we had the final one. I was in love with this house. If you haven't seen the video of me refurbing this house, please check it out. Like, it was so beautiful. The landlords were amazing. They had insurance for everything in the property. Everything was integrated fridge, integrated freezer, integrated dishwasher, integrated washing machine. Like, it was just done up to like immaculate standards because the landlords used to live there before and they moved out and bought another property. It was just so amazing. Had like a little lake at the back of it. If you haven't watched my video, guys, watch it. It was such a lovely property. Again, because of that, I'd done it up to a high standard. I got top dollar for the rooms. That I was getting like 670, 600 again because I made I made it look good. So yeah, all of those were really good. I had a booming rent-to-rent business, I would say, bringing in a lot of money, not much noise, not much headache. So why did I stop doing it? So the reason why I stopped doing rent-to-rent, with rent-to-rents, like, no one in this world plans to live in a room forever. And that's what you need to understand. People use renting a room to either save some money, be closer to work, or they're mainly single people. They're not people that are in a relationship, because it's difficult to be in a relationship and be in a room and then share a kitchen, then share this, etc. So generally, most of the people that I found I was renting the rooms to were single, professionals, just gone through a breakup, just gone through a divorce, or like, I've just moved to this new job, I need to be closer to it for now. One of the tenants bought a house, moved out. Another tenant's in another property, wanted to move in with a boyfriend, and another one was moving back home. And it just got like, I just felt like at one stage there was like 5 tenants moving out from different properties, and I was starting my Amazon business and I needed to somehow get down there, fix up the room, change this, is the bed broken, is this, and it was just like, oh my god, like I was managing like 15 people. Do you know what I mean? 15 different personalities. One of them didn't get along with the other one, and there was a noise complaint, and the neighbor contacted me, and I had to go and issue warnings in the contract to let them know that in the contract, you know, you are not to cause a nuisance, you're not to do this. And it just got like, oh my God, I'm managing so much. And I was doing Amazon at the time, so Amazon was making me more money, no hassle, no noise, no nothing. I was thinking, I'm making like maybe £2,000 a month and then having to deal with stuff, or I can make £20,000 a month with no noise, because Amazon deals with all the customer inquiries, they deal with everything. So yeah, so I had to weigh up, you know, which one made more sense. Noise, no noise. I went for the no noise. Yeah, I said, you know what, I think this is my time to exit this strategy, because I either have to employ somebody into the company to deal with the rent-to-rent business and grow it, or I could just call it quits. And that's exactly what I done. I called it quits. So one of the reasons I stopped was because of the tenants, and managing people was a headache. Another reason why I stopped, 2 of the properties that I had, right? The landlords were absolute pains. Sometimes it's not always the tenants that the issues, it's the landlords. They sign a contract that says that they will take care of the property while you have the tenants in there. In one of the properties that I had, the boiler broke, the heating wasn't working, and they weren't having hot water. Now, it's not my property, so therefore I am not going to fork out thousands of pounds to get a new boiler. And when I said that to the landlord, that, you know, the boiler's not working, the landlord was reluctant to put any money into this house. You know, he was like, no, like, I'm not paying that money. Why do they need a new boiler? And I'm in the middle, and the tenants are angry at me, I'm angry at him, but essentially until he gives me the go-ahead to spend that money, I can't just go into his house and do what the hell I want. Like, he was using the water tank. It wasn't like a gas central heating, which means that to get that fixed would literally be thousands. It would be digging up floorboards. So I can't do something like that without his authorization, for one. Also, without putting money in, and that would be thousands and thousands of pounds. I was like, going back and forth, and this took like 3 months. And I am somewhere where I really cannot sleep if I know that people are cold with no heating, or they don't feel comfortable, or do you know what I mean? I want people, I only want to provide something for other people which I would feel comfortable living in that house. I can't uphold my values while I have a landlord who is not willing to do the works that need to be done. Like, they were saying, like, I'm not going to pay rent, I'm not going to do this, and the only thing that made them continue pay the rent was the fact that I was so nice to them. And whenever there was an issue, like when the heating wasn't working and the landlord was taking long to approve me to do the works, to get someone in for him to pay for it, to fix it, I would go and I'd say, you know what, use these heaters, guys. I'd give them heaters, electric heaters, knowing that the electric bill is going to skyrocket, but I would take that L because I just wanted them to be comfortable. So sometimes it's not only the tenants, it's the landlords that can be a pain. So the reason why I stopped was because I was weighing up 20,000 in revenue or £2,000 a month with headache, and I preferred the 20,000 in revenue. That's not to say that there's not a lot of money in rent to rent, and if you guys want some more tips, I'm going to have a video on it, and if you have little questions and stuff, I might just do like a little I don't know, a little thing where I'll just go through some questions with you guys. But there is a lot of money to make in rent to rent. People are killing it in rent to rent, but you just got to weigh up the fact that when you are doing something like this, you are providing a home for people. You need to stand by that value of making sure that that house is high standard, you provide a very good service, you're able to be on call, and you're able to provide for them and make sure that they are okay at all times, because you're dealing with people with a family, and you got to treat those tenants how you'd expect to be treated, and also how you'd expect your family to be treated. And if you can't do that effectively, I just think it's better to just not do it at all. Don't do things half-heartedly. So rent to rent is amazing. As I said, I made money from it, but 2,000 noise, 20,000 no noise, 20,000 no noise. That's essentially why I stopped doing rent to rent. I hope you guys like this video. Please comment below what you think. Give me a subscribe, give me a like, follow me on Instagram, follow my journey, follow things what I'm doing, stay up to date. Thank you so much for watching my video. Again, you took the time out to watch this video, which means a lot to me. It helps me grow, and it helps me provide like good, I hope, good quality videos for you guys too. So stay blessed, stay winning. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.